So whenever I want to talk to the Australians, I have to change my sleep patterns. And I'm sure to some degree it's a little bit of the same for you. Have you encountered in establishing the success that you've had just the sheer physical demand of the endeavor of starting the relationship with the United States? I mean, it not only is it a professional, but it also affects somewhat of the personal in that way. So do you have any techniques? I mean, are you telling your team, we're now on the U.S. time zone? How does that affect that? I don't care if you go to sleep, you're going to sleep in breaks. I'm just very curious on that opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, it's a test of a number of different types of relationships. One is it's a bit of a test of an initial partnership as to who's going to take the 2 a.m. call, or who's going to insist on a 9 a.m. or 10 a.m. call. But then you really throw the cat amongst the pigeons when you've got a call across Europe, the US, and Australia, and then it becomes like you can tell if the relationship's working if people are volunteering to do, the midnight shift or the 2 a.m. shift.
To reciprocate it.
To reciprocate, yeah. And thankfully, in our experience, that's been the case. And I suppose it's also a bit of a test of your own staff as to who's going to volunteer for those, for those 2 a.m. shifts. But thankfully it's worked out.
Are you reliant on, and this the same for everybody, the communication tools that you're using? I mean, we have now video chat, but is email even more important when you're talking about the globe? I'm just very curious, Tim, if you've said, no, we're just doing video, or any sensitivities along the platform?
So this is a really interesting one. So we've got a lot of software developers, and they don't like to talk to other humans. They prefer to use things like Discord or Slack or whatever, but one of the areas where the BizOps people can come in, and there will have been a conversation going on with two DevOps between the US and Australia, or Europe and Australia, that's been going on for 2 weeks trying to solve a problem, and it's normally a BizOps person who comes in and says, "Can we just get on a video call, please, and solve this?" And inevitably, we get on a call, it's solved within half an hour. So, it's horses for courses.
At 2 a.m., right?
Yeah.
2 a.m.
Yeah, that's right. You've got to make the sacrifice, and for speed. Yeah,
that's great.
Yeah, we found exactly the same, where the pace of discussion and solving problems via email is incredibly slow because of that almost reversing of the time zone. What we have developed really are two things. Firstly, we like to do early morning meetings, and that works pretty well for us, and sort of lines up with the afternoon. But what we found was we couldn't say to everyone, "I'll just be available early morning, middle of the night, all night, whenever," without getting exhausted. It was a bit unsustainable. So the system we use at the moment is one where we just pick one night a week, and at the moment it's a Monday, and that's the night we try and do all of our really late night chats with the US. Otherwise, the mornings are pretty flexible for everybody, and we've got a system where we just have engineers on call for product support and the like. So there's a nice little spreadsheet where they know which night we'll need them, if at all, and that gives our team the structure they need to be able to do this kind of thing sustainably.
That's great. How about?
I like that tip of just doing it all on one night. I hadn't thought of that one, so you saved me something there. Thank you.
It works, yeah.
I think spending years at sea helps you with sleep deprivation, so that's a good thing. But we went through a big growth phase during COVID, so everybody was distributed, and we settled eventually across the east and the west coast, and there's a 2 or 3 hour time difference there. So unfortunately, dealing with this has been part of our DNA for a while. The only tip that might come out of that would be test the systems early before you have to implement them.